Am I even in the camera shot? That's a good
Well,
We usually have a guy for this.
yeah.
Let me get up and.
This kind of stuff didn't happen when it was just us.
Don't trip on that wire. It's pretty dangerous.
Oh yeah, I was in the shot. We're good.
Okay, cool.
We're good.
So you interrupted that for
Hey,
me.
editor. Edit in grog right there. Now edit in a gunbill stork right there. You guys ever seen a gunbill stork? That is one of the scariest birds I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
Anyway, welcome to the Buckle
That's
Bomb.
the play-in. The Buckle Bomb, gunbill storks. We like those. JK, I'm so sorry. Anyways, Buckle Bomb, welcome back. It's me, Daniel Ryan, Primo, all the names. Kenny the cat now, apparently, according to the law.
What?
Yeah, it's a whole thing. I can't get into it.
He's extending the bit.
Yeah, he's extending the bit. It's really bad.
Uh,
But anyways,
yeah, this is your local ornithologist, Felix Rogers here. We're sitting on the topic of birds today. I don't know where that came from, but
I feel like you just make up words with your mouth.
I'd believe him.
Ornithologist.
He's like, yeah, I'm a Kalios. I'm a Kalios. That's what I am today.
Ornithology is the study of birds.
You're making up words. Anyways.
I have no
It's
idea,
like,
dude.
am I
You're asking
crazy?
me like I study birds.
I need some help in this conversation. I'm already out. I'm on number 2 to 1
Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
yeah,
That
dude,
sounds like you.
What?
Soliloquy. Soliloquy.
Like I try not to talk like a 5th grader sometimes. You gotta balance out. You gotta balance out the dumb.
You got to remind everybody that
internet
you are a grown
words.
up every now and
Yeah,
then.
well, yeah.
Well,
You
he's
could
wearing
tell
a
I was
Pizza
a
Planet
gifted
shirt.
and talented kid who ruined their potential. And
Shout out to this.
by the time we got to high
Christ
school.
live. Anyways,
Yes, sir,
next
anyway.
person.
Someone
Podcast.
even more
Amazing
gifted and
in
talented
the
than I.
building.
And next we have Blue. It's Blue. And he's wearing a blue shirt. That's epic.
That wasn't planned.
That's epic gamer.
I don't own many tank
That's
tops.
epic gamer moment number 1.
Thank you.
Or
I'm pretty
5.
Epic.
Oh, I take it back. That was Narwhal gamer moment. Anyways, hi Blue. You know, just to start off, most people will probably not know you because you have not been on a show. Most people, I would assume, that watch or listen to the Buckle Bomb, watch our wrestling show. You haven't been on that yet. You are a trainee. You know what? You are on it.
Technically, he's
on
been-
You are on it.
Not as a
Yeah.
wrestler, but
Not as a wrestler. You may know him as the ref.
the newest zebra out there on the AAPW Serengeti.
That's you. Blue the ref.
Yeah.
Blue the zebra ref.
Unfortunately, I couldn't get blue stripes. I don't think they make those.
Did you look hard enough?
No.
Did you? Okay, I was going to
Greenback had
say.
a green ref shirt.
I looked really hard in Dick's Sporting Goods for like 5 minutes.
For a
5
blue
whole
ref
minutes.
shirt.
5 whole
Did you
minutes.
actually think you were going to find a blue ref shirt in Dick's?
No. Well, I almost didn't find any because this one guy was like, yeah, I think we got ref shirts like over there. And it was like just one with like a big Jeep logo on it. I was like, I can't get that. And then this other guy's like, hey, what are you looking for? I'm like, a ref shirt. He goes, yeah, there's like 1,000 over there. And I was
Christ.
like, okay, cool. Like I almost left and gave up. I went to like Academy instead.
That's the story of Blue the ref.
Here we go.
But no, you are a ref and you're also a trainee here.
Yeah.
People may know you if they've watched the Spectrum News coverage that we had on us, featuring you and Ladybird, which took me by surprise. I thought they were only doing Ladybird. I watched, and yeah, you came up there talking about your god-awful tragic story. Jesus. Very sad. Which is, I'm going to assume that's going to be the main topic of today and how that led you to wrestling. It's a pretty compelling story. I feel like
It's a wild
people need to
story.
hear. It's wild.
I'd watch a documentary about it.
A wild ride.
I honestly
Am I
thought it was
right?
pretty well, not cool that it happened, but cool that there was somebody else coming here with a very similar story because that's basically what I laid out to Pops whenever I walked in the door here.
Oh, really?
And,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Please get into it. We could quit honeypotting the
Do you want to start
listeners and
very
viewers.
beginning? Okay, so
Yeah, start.
I guess I'll start at the big story first. So if you've seen the Spectrum interview, that's when a lot of people here found out that in August 13th, 2019, I was ran over by a 2019 GMC pickup truck.
Christ love.
And when I say ran over, I do not mean hit. I mean like actually ran over. And how it happened was I was going to school on La Frontera, and I just finished a midterm, so I was gonna go get food. I had like $5 in my bank account, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna use the last of it to get food.
Taco Bell?
And no, Brooklyn Pie Company, shout out. And I get to the Salvation Army on that street, and the truck pulling out of the parking lot is like, yeah, you can go. And then he's like looking left. And from reports that I've heard is that I waved thank you, my skateboard in my hand, and when the person who pretty much saved my life looked back around, she said she saw me going under the truck, and he took me like 8 to 10 feet out into the street, and he didn't even know that his truck had ran me over until the second wheel went over me. And he stopped immediately. They said he got out, and he was just a total wreck. Like, he was just in tears and couldn't believe he did that. Because it all happened within like 3 seconds. Like, the second I stepped out, he saw an opening and completely forgot about me. And he was in such a hurry that he just, I don't even know.
And this was the same dude that like waved you to go, right?
Yeah, like same dude who let me cross the street. With like, so I was like, how did that happen? And luckily there was a nurse behind him who saw it all happen. She told me she called 911 right away. She got out. She left. She had 2 kids, and she was pregnant at the time. She was going to be due in February of that year. And she checked my pulse. She ran back to her kids to make sure like they were like okay. And then she came back and she gave me CPR because she said my pulse disappeared. Jesus. And I was just like totally like turning blue on the spot, and my stomach was like 3 times its size. And there was a second nurse that came and gave me CPR, but they didn't come forward. And yeah, so basically like 3 minutes later, the EMTs came, they picked me up, and I don't even remember like the first 2 days of being there. It was like in those movies where you're looking up and you see like just the white lights and it's like flashing, and I can hear them telling me things like, okay, we're gonna pick you up now. We just like, oh, we need you to be still, we need you to relax. And I just have like a memory of like solid blackness, and for what felt like 2 days, but it was really probably only like a few minutes maybe.
So did you have memory, that recount you just gave us, was that all of your memory leading up to it, or did you like forget some of or most of everything that happened that day?
So my memory was the split second of the truck turning into me and that sudden rush of adrenaline of just like, oh no, something's coming. And then laying on the floor and being like, oh my God, it is so hot.
Really?
Like, yeah.
God, dude.
So I was just like, I was more concerned about the heat at that point because I guess I didn't even realize what happened and then just shut off. And I remember a little bit of them talking to me, and I remember a little bit of my sister FaceTiming me, but only like hearing it, not seeing anything.
Yeah.
I had my contacts in. They didn't realize that either. So they were probably all dried up at the time. And I was at a ventilator, and so I couldn't even talk. And the only way I could communicate with my sister was I would write on a whiteboard, and they would tell her what I was saying.
Oh man, dude.
And unfortunately, she was going to Disneyland the next day, so not great for her. And my parents convinced her to go, and I'm really happy she went because she did not need to see me at that moment, because it was the guy who did my pelvis was like, yeah, I'm not gonna operate on him because I don't think he's gonna make it.
Wow.
Like, why waste the resources?
So they were declaring you to basically be like the closest thing to death at that point.
Yeah. Once
Dude.
they put that ventilator in, they were like,
Yeah.
we don't know.
So run down kind of like what exactly all like the kind of injuries you had sustained, just so that, because like I think when you kind of lay that all out, like it really kind of brings into scope, like, oh, it wasn't just you kind of got bumped by a car, like you got like absolutely like.
Yeah. So 2 discs in my neck slipped, my collarbone dislocated. I had 3rd-degree liver and lung lacerations. Both my lungs completely collapsed, so I had bilateral chest tubes. I had fractured ribs. I had a broken L3 and L4, so I had nerve damage running all the way down into like from down my left leg into my foot, and I had a completely shattered pelvis. Like it had to be put back together like 100%. And I'm sure there was some more things in there, but it's just like those are the big ones I can remember. Mm-hmm.
So were you already watching wrestling before that, or did it kind of come in after all this happened?
So I was a big fan of wrestling. I always knew it existed when I was a kid, and I would see the action figures, and I wasn't too interested until my brother's friend brought over SmackDown versus Raw 07, and I started playing as Edge, and I was like, I love this dude. I was like, this guy's awesome. And then my brother, and like the game was just so fun that like that's how we got into wrestling through the video games, and we would just play it, and we didn't know nobody, so I started watching probably like a month after getting into the game, but the names I knew, a lot of them were like either out or not with the company. So for a long time, I was like, "Where's Rey Mysterio?" I was like, "Where is he?" And he was like injured.
So what year were you starting to play this?
It was probably 06, since it was 2007. So 2006, I started playing. It's so confusing. I started playing like the 2007 game.
Okay. So wait, Rey Mysterio wasn't in the company at that time?
He was there. He was injured.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yes, if it was 07, it would have been like, it would have been a little after he was world champion, because Eddie
died in 05.
Eddie passed in 05, and they did that storyline the following year.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, he's always been out for like knee issues and stuff like that.
But okay, so you got into it by playing the video games. Were you watching consistently up to the accident, or was it kind of like an on-off thing? Because I know that's the case for most people as they tend to grow up.
I watched it like all the time up until like towards the end of middle school, and then it just kind of, as I got older, it got hard to consistently watch it. And then I was learning about other companies, and so I was getting more interested in like Impact and Ring of Honor at the time, and then my brother was starting training in this company called New York Wrestling Connection, and so I would go to their show.
That's news to me. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's unfortunately he's had some injuries too that sidelined him, and he's trying to come back like this month or next month. And I would go to shows like every time they had a show I would go. And that was the wrestling I was watching the most. And then I just like, once AAW came out, I was like always going up to my brother's friend's house to watch it with like the three of us.
Nice.
And sometimes like my brother's friend's friend, and so it's like AAW is like when I started to like really get back into watching it like every week.
Yeah, AEW is super cultivating, man.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I was watching stuff here and there. I was mainly just like catching highlights of like PWG or New Japan, or trying to watch some Impact or ROH. And then when I heard AEW came out, I was like, uh-oh. I became a super crackhead to AEW.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so because AEW came out, was that 2019?
I think 2019 was the build to it.
Yeah,
it depends on because 2019
was their first year.
Yeah, because 18 was All In, and then 20 was All In 2018, and they did Double or Nothing, I think, at the very beginning of 2019.
The first,
and then Dynamite started later that year.
I remember that because that's when I moved here, is when AEW happened. But okay, so, and that happens to be the year that you got into the accident, 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah, so was wrestling a constant thing you had while you were recovering, or?
When they told, so I always wanted to be a wrestler.
Okay.
Once I got hooked, and after like I remember this one thing they were telling me during the accident is, you're gonna go back to 100%. You have age on your side, and I was like, okay, so I can still wrestle. And as I would recover more, I was like, could I wrestle? Like, because my one doctor, we were talking about skateboarding. I was like, I'm afraid to fall on my pelvis, and like rehurt it. And he was like, well, you're never gonna know, like, unless you don't try. And he goes, you should be fine. He goes, I don't see why you can't do it. But he's like, if you don't try, you're not going to know.
So that whole skateboard talk was before you wanted to get back into wrestling? Because, Jesus, you were afraid about falling on your pelvis and skateboarding. Dude, your whole body is crashing. Wrestling.
Wrestling was like the whole time I was thinking about it, but I was just trying to take baby steps and see what he would be okay with.
I got you.
And just basically they were like, I mean, you'll be 100%. So they're like, why not? Like, nobody ever said no. My parents, though, when I came to the school, I could tell my mother was not like, my mother and my grandma were
rightfully
not,
so.
like, on board at first.
Typically how moms react.
Yeah, she's like, great. Now I have 2 broken sons trying to be wrestlers.
But yeah, so you started training, I guess, was it May or April?
The end of April.
Yeah.
I think the 21st or whatever whatever class was after that is when I started.
When did you make your full recovery? 100%. They were like, okay, like you can go do whatever you want now. When did that happen?
I wouldn't say I'm 100% yet, but when I decided that I was gonna go back out and do stuff, and was in November, that's when I went back to work, and I was like, okay, I'm done just sitting at home doing nothing. I was doing workouts, I was doing a lot of DDP yoga, and that was helping out a lot. And I was like, I'm tired of just sitting home. I was like, I need to go do what I like.
So wait, you just said you're still not 100%?
I'm not gonna get injured or hurt, but it's like I still have aches and pains here.
Oh, okay. Thank God, dude.
Yeah, nothing's broken. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was like, you signed a waiver. Yeah, we can't help you at all.
No, yeah,
So you're good to go now. Like if you wanted to have a full intensity match, you could go do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Jesus, dude, you scared me.
Yeah,
God.
should have worded that better.
For sure.
But yeah. So when did you finally decide to pull the trigger? What made you finally pull the trigger to come wrestle?
So when I first moved here, there would be times where I would look for a wrestling school here, and every time I looked up a school or asked about it, they were like, yeah, the only one I know is in San Antonio. They're like, oh, HBK school or Booker C school, and I was like, I can't make that. And then a week before I signed up for this school, I asked Max of Inspire Pro if he knew any schools close by, and he was like, yeah. He goes right down the street from you is AAPW.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? And I was like, okay. I was like, so I searched up the school, and I was like, yeah, they really aren't that far from me. And I went to the website, and that night I applied, and I put out all my stuff, and why I was interested in joining, and yeah, that night or the next morning, Michaela texted me and was like, yeah, we're interested. If you want to come down to the school and check it out, come check it out.
Inspire has a good track record with AAPW guys, so that's pretty dope that they're giving back in that way.
Yeah, for sure.
So as it goes, if any of you watching or listening wants to sign up for AAPW, Jesus, you are most you will 100% have to have a talk with Pops. He's gonna do some type of interview with you about why you want to join the school and how you're gonna do whatever that you want to do. So I'm interested in that because I'm assuming you had to tell Pops that whole story, and Pops is coming off of an injury as well. It happened. He got a surgery a year ago. It was about a year ago now, huh?
I mean, it was also kind of a 5-10 year long injury.
Yeah, he's just coming off surgery too. Yeah, he just came off a really big surgery a year ago. So I'm wondering how he reacted to hearing you talk about what you went through and why you want to do this.
So he sat me down, and I know one of the first questions was like, do you have is there anyone who doesn't want you to do this? And I was like, there's nobody stopping me, but I was like, I don't think my parents are thrilled about it. And I was like, I know my grandma was like, and then he was we were just going through the talk, asking me why I want to be a wrestler, how I found out about AAPW, when can I start training, and and he was like, anything I should know about? And I was like, well, I was
Jesus.
like, I have 2 screws and a plate in my pelvis, and I'm like, and I have asthma, and that's about it. Like, because those were the only things that were like bugging me at the time, and I thought would like be a problem. So I was like, maybe I shouldn't be like, hey, I was ran over, because
that probably would have been like, kid, you gotta.
yeah, he's gonna be like, yes, you see this waiver right here. Make sure
Yeah.
You get the buckle mom. Do not advocate lying to anybody else. About past injuries that you had. Please be honest.
Yeah, I don't recommend doing that, but and I always felt bad, and I always wanted to like be like, hey, by the way, like this happened, and then just like a little bit after being here, the Spectrum story came up, and they were like, yeah, they want to do a story on like one of you guys, and I was like, why have a story? And I told him, and he was just like, okay.
Yeah, I remember Pops specifically asking, like, just to make the story a little bit more interesting, who here has a sad story? And I think when he said that to the class, I didn't hear anyone like reach up. So I was actually planning in going in like the next week or something, be like, I can do that.
I had actually suggested my story, and then like I think a day or two afterwards, Blues came up.
Yeah.
I was like, well, he's actually working, so yeah, put him in there.
Yeah, I went up to Pops. I was like, all right, are we doing the Spectrum thing? And he was like, I already got somebody. I was like, who? And then at that point, yeah, exactly. At that point, I didn't really know your story. I knew you had like something happened to you, but I didn't know the full scope of it. And then you told me a little bit once I found out that you were the one chosen.
Yeah.
But then you didn't tell me the full thing. And then the Spectrum story came out, and I was like, geez, dude, like, God.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Surprise.
Yeah. Ugh.
But no, yeah, and then kind of going back to the whole, telling Pops about what had happened and everything. Honestly, from my own experience, you could have told him that day every single thing that had happened. He probably would have reacted the exact same way, because his reaction to me was basically everything that everybody else has told you. They don't know that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like how the doctor told you, it was like, you're not going to know unless you actually try. Because people had told me, don't do the military, don't do wrestling, don't do this, don't do that, because you're broken, right? Pops was like, no, come on, do it, do the thing. So yeah, be honest.
Yeah.
Please.
But yeah, man, you're training. I've seen you from day one. Not that I'm anybody, but like I've seen you from day one, and I've had the opportunity to help out beginners, and you were a part of that beginner class. And yeah, you're progressing along, man, and it's really nice to see, especially knowing what the crap you've been through. It's pretty cool, and people should seek out that Spectrum story, because they make it a little bit more dramatic than I think we can do here. That we can do.
Pretty sure there's a link to it on our website.
I think is there really?
Yeah, I think it's on our Facebook page too. If you take a quick scroll down.
Official AAPW.com or AAPW on Facebook.
Nice. Go watch Blue make you cry.
Yeah.
As you're wanting to watch some fun wrestling.
Because they have like they have like Ladybird's.
Yeah, Ladybird's on there too.
It's like all like happy and stuff, and then it's like,
and then
goes
this
right
man
into mine, and it's like, yeah, it's like, hey, what's up?
Jeez, and he lay an absolute bomb on him. Good God.
So now that you're actually, training and in the ring now, what do you think of it?
Gosh, I was so like, I always knew it was gonna be hard, but it is like 10 times harder than I think anybody could ever imagine. Just like day one, I think like right out the gate, we did like almost 400 scoops that day.
We did. I remember that day.
Yeah,
oh
like,
yeah.
Each
Oh
person
my God.
counted like 15, and then we had to like restart at one point. And that was like, I was like, yeah, I could probably do some scoops, and I was like 100.
Yeah, I remember that. There was another guy that started with you, and he had some type of fitness background. Like, he was supposed to be a fit guy, and I think he had to like walk out like a little less than halfway through and had to go puke, and then he was like, I'll be right back, and then he never came back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he never came back. So shout out to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I knew it was gonna be hard, so I was like, it'd be really stupid if I just quit. And like, it's been tough, and I've been like anxious a lot here and there. like learning it and like getting into it. But it's been the most fun I've been having, and getting to go out there and be a part of the shows now. Like I remember first day I was like, oh my god, I was like, I'm not ready. And then like the second show I went out there and I was like, I'm gonna throw up. Every time I heard a pinfall,
Wow.
I was like, I'm next. I was like, don't be three. And then I went out there, and as soon as I was out there, I was like, okay, I'm fine. And then like I was like, I was having a lot of fun. And I got back there, I was like, oh my god, I was like, that was so awesome. Like,
It is. It's an adrenaline rush. I haven't had the pleasure of being a ref on one of our shows, but I can say that for anyone, especially now that you say that, like for anyone who wants to do this, as soon as you step in the ring, it's like a whole nother beast. It's like a whole nother animal. Like something else takes over and everything feels like it's real life, like it's real do or die. And it's a nice rush of adrenaline.
It's like weird because you're out there and you hear the crowd and it's like, and unfortunately my first time wasn't, the crowd wasn't the nicest to me.
Oh yeah, the refs have it tough here, man.
Yeah.
The refs kind of have it tough here, unless you're Lawrence.
But yeah,
That's the
like,
problem is the bar is Lawrence.
Honestly.
yeah,
Jesus.
it's not a bar you can surpass.
Well, not on day one. You can't. They come out here and they don't. You don't count at the fans' pace.
They're starting to like chase Burdick a little bit.
They like Chase.
He has to talk back to him every
Yeah.
once in a while. He got yelled at last show.
He's got to remind him who's the boss.
He counted a close 2 count, and one of the dude, that's a 3, and then Chase turns around, he goes, no, it wasn't.
2.
He goes, no, it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was 2, and then he turned back around and did his thing, and that was
He
baller.
puts his hand on the top rope. He's like, no, it wasn't. Goes straight back to the match.
It's so
God
great.
bless Chase's soul. So yeah, how you liking reffing so far, man?
I like it a lot. I know there's still a lot I need to learn,
Yeah.
so I've been making sure to write it all down in my notebook, and just making sure that like I get all of it down, and trying to just learn from what I did previously. Because I just remember I went in the back and I just took advice from everybody, and I just wrote down what everybody like said to me.
Nice.
And I just like took all that and I applied it to my second match, and I was like, oh my god, I felt like 1,000 times better. And then the third match, and then like, yeah, the crowd tried to heckle me again some more, but like the rest of the crowd was like so into like the matches that like they didn't even have like a chance, and I was like, oh my gosh.
And it's weird to say, but like once you get to a point where the crowd like ignores you, that's like the primo spot to be, no pun intended, as
Did you really say?
as
I think you did.
in a match, because you're there to facilitate. You're not.
No, yeah, you
just
don't
say
want to
prime.
be noticed. You don't want to be
The worst
taken
kind of heat is
primo.
ref
Why do
heat.
you
Ref
gotta
heat
say
is the
prime?
worst kind of heat because like all this heat's supposed to like go to the wrestlers and all this energy, and then if you accidentally like absorb some of it and you become like the biggest person in the ring,
Right, yeah.
for better or worse, like it's usually for worse, but like so I mean once you being involved in the match and you being the best ref that you can be adds so much to a match, especially here. I feel like
Oh yeah. We for at least the people that wrestle here, we appreciate it when the attention is on us.
Yeah.
Us doing stuff in the ring.
Oh, trust me, I didn't want it on me. So when they were focused on you guys, I was like, thank God. I was like, all right, cool, just keep doing this.
Yeah.
that's the problem. Yeah, because refs always usually when they get noticed, 90% of the time it's for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, it is very hard to take the attention off of them afterwards because then everyone's just like micromanaging every single move they make, and then it's like, well,
They watch the ref for the rest of the match.
yeah.
But I think you're doing a good job so far. It's really cool. I tried to ref like as soon as I started training, so I feel that. But I was like,
I remember that.
yeah, I was like, well, yeah, because like I just wanted to be in the ring.
Yeah.
And I always, but I was always in the, since I was already at the commentary table, it was like hard to just be like, oh, wow.
Justify being out there and then being in the back.
Then it was like, I got to move here. And then it's like, okay, who see here? And we had like 3 or 4 refs at the time anyway.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Well, that's how it
Yeah.
happened. Is just one night, Pops was like, yeah, like we need some more referees. Like we need to teach some of you how to ref. And I was like, I can ref.
yeah.
And he looked at me. He goes, yeah. He goes, okay. And then like for just weeks, he was like, all right, this is a show. And then like I would come in a show, and I was like, okay, let's just get the debut, or let's get the butterflies out. And then like he's like, all right, he goes, this next show, 100%. And I was like, okay. And then it was like, as the day was coming, I was like, I would go to sleep and I was like, don't think about it.
Yeah.
Stress yourself out.
The day before your first show is very, very anxiety inducing.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
And then
Good
like
God.
it goes, but the match goes by so fast in there.
It does.
You're like you get back to and you're like that's it. You're like, I'm done.
Who was your first match that you refed?
It was Junction versus Arrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Dope.
So that was a fun little one. And then the second one was Junction and Ladybird, and then
Oh, wow.
Ollie and Stud Stash.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
I thought that was a fun
What
one.
a fun
Yeah.
match to do.
I was like, I get to do a championship match already. I was like, cool. I was like, awesome.
Yeah.
I did lift up the belt the wrong way.
You got reamed for it. I can tell you that.
That was the best part. Was like, and that's cool because it's like, I like because it shows the eagerness to learn. It's like you were running around backstage. You came up to me and you asked, and you're like, "Hey, I'm doing a championship match tonight. Is there like anything special we're supposed to do?" I'm like, "Well, we're supposed to hold the belt up." And I know. Pop's like, it is like, and you're like, "Yeah, but does they like want to do it like a certain way?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, no." You're like, "I know I'm supposed to hold it towards like the hard cam and stuff like
That's
that."
funny.
And it's just like, so like, seeing that sort of like readiness to want to do the best job possible it's cool. It's nice.
And it doesn't go unnoticed as well.
For sure.
No, yeah, for sure.
Everyone notices. So it'll pay off. Whether you want to keep doing ref or you want to get in the ring and wrestle in a show, like people are going to notice and they're going to take stuff like that you did and they're going to remember that and it's going to apply to you. But we are winding down here. It is just about that time. We have a thing called the 3 count. It's supposed to be a very formal thing. That is very loud. My ears are actually bleeding right now.
Yeah, that one hurt.
3 count. It's supposed to be this formal thing, this cool thing where we all ask you rapid fire questions for like 3 minutes, but we don't even do that anymore, so you don't have to worry.
Oh.
It's basically formed into us 3 asking one question, so super bougie in that sense. But hey, it works because we just work here.
Yeah.
Am I right, fellas?
allegedly.
Fellow gamers? Okay.
I'm not a gamer.
Are you a gamer? You're a gamer. Everyone knows that you're a gamer.
No one publicly.
Nasty.
If you label yourself, anyway.
I had that experience.
Yeah.
First question, the most important question of all time, of all mankind.
Classic.
The classic.
The one.
Favorite, your favorite ring gear of all time.
Oh my gosh, you asked such a hard one, like right out the gate.
The baby, let's go.
It's the especially yes, it's on everybody. You
The
gotta-
one I always wanted an action figure of was Edge with the red boots, black tights, and red star.
I know what you're talking about.
With like the wrist tape that had like that same logo on there. I always wanted that as a little kid.
Edge was stunting on the low, man. That man was dripped down.
His camo gear.
Low key. His camo gear was dope too.
Ooh,
Even though I don't like camo, but he made it work. A1 from day one.
AJ Styles has always had some really cool gear, but the one that I always like, I guess like just going from years and years out, I'm like, if I could have one action figure, it would be that Edge figure, especially with the Radar Championship. I was like, ooh. So I guess I'd have to say that one. It's probably my favorite.
Epic.
I feel like that question is kind of like what we can use to see if people actually listen to the show.
Yeah, because it's
Like,
literally
oh, man,
every
I
single.
didn't know this was coming. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
You didn't think the ring attire question was coming from Danny Orion?
that's every episode. So
Like-
thanks for being a fan, dog.
Yeah, for sure.
Punk. I take it back. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
Wow, Christ.
I didn't mean it. Next question.
I would like to know. As someone else who got into wrestling through video games, like I played a wrestling game before I watched a show. What is either your favorite wrestling video game or your favorite thing to do in a wrestling game?
My favorite wrestling video game would have to be the last THQ WWE game, so 2K14. Just because I felt like they perfected so much of the stuff they were building on. And then I also had a lot of fun playing WrestleMania 2000, just because it was like the same year I was born.
Dude, I haven't played that game in forever.
Had
Yeah.
a really cool like black cartridge, but I was terrible at that one. But yeah, 14 was my favorite, and then I always loved elimination chamber matches. There's just something about elimination matches that I'm like so into, especially like when you come out at random. I'm like, Yes.
They're really fun in the games too. My favorite game growing up was the one I started with, which was Here Comes the Pain.
Oh,
Nice.
That was the first one
Classic.
to have the elimination chamber in it, and like even the little things like being able to climb up to the chambers and stuff like that. Like it's always
dude. And when you have 6 people actually playing
exactly.
it, oh my gosh, I'd bring my laptop to my friend's house and like plug in like the wireless controllers and be like,
Oh,
all
see,
right.
I've never been able to do it with all 6 people, but I've done it with like
I've never played all 6. Yeah.
I've done it with like even having more than one person in it. Like you both take other sides and just start beating each other up.
I played
good
with
time.
4 players and then the 2 computers, and even that was
It's crazy.
crazy.
It's hard. You get
Hectic
points.
is all heck.
Yeah.
Hectic as heck.
It's my favorite curse word, heck. Anyways,
Your favorite pay-per-view, like one specific card that stood out to you.
So
next litmus test. of the
Yeah,
Buckle Ball.
another totally random, off the wall, never been asked before
that's
question.
our shtick is they've always got the same question. I gotta be the wild card. Gotta throw them off.
So
Wild card for the wild hair.
I know my
Yeehaw.
favorite match of all time, but my favorite pay-per-view of all time is probably the first one I've ever seen live, which was the 2008 Great American Bash. And I think that was
okay,
the last
yeah.
one before it was the Great American Bash.
Was that Bobby Lashley and Cena?
No, that was Cena
No,
and JBL
Cena,
in the street
yeah.
fight, and then
Oh.
Chris Jericho and HBK, where HBK got all blood.
Yeah,
yeah,
nice.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's when hometown Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins won the tag titles, and like,
Jeez.
and I was like yes, because that's when I found out like that's when I got to meet him and stuff, and like my aunt was like friends with like his fiance at the time, so I was like,
What a connection. My
So-
God.
Oh, yeah, because you're a Long Island boy too, right?
yeah, I'm a Yankee, and so I was like, yes, I was like, my Long Island guys won.
So, a little off the cuff. This is a little bonus. No, I can't say that. A little bonus question. That could have got bad. A little bonesy. You're from, up there. You know what I'm saying?
Up there,
What do you think about Whataburger?
it's really good.
Yeah?
All right.
Favorite meal? Favorite thing to get from Whataburger?
I'm very basic. So if you have really good fries, that's like really good to me. Like I think
You just like Whataburger for the
Do
fries?
you not like get an entree?
I'm sorry.
we're about to flame
They
you,
don't-
dog.
they
Go
don't
back.
have anything
That's so
vegetarian,
aggressive.
so
Oh, you're vegetarian.
Whoa.
yeah, there's
Dude, what? I had no
heel
idea.
turn. Yeah,
I don't have a vegetarian sound.
I'm not a vegan, so it never comes up.
That's lettuce.
Wow.
But yeah, like they have really good fries. We have like Chick-fil-A, like we have one Chick-fil-A in New York, and I think their fries are overrated. If that upsets
Wow.
somebody, I'm sorry, but
You're
it's-
definitely gonna get jumped walking out of here. Someone's gonna hear
just-
that, and you're gonna get beat up.
I just use facts. I don't know
People
what to-
Wow.
go to Chick-fil-A more than they go to church down here. It's crazy.
I used to work at a Chick-fil-A, so I'm kind of burnt out.
I
on
think
it.
people go to church a lot down here.
Hey,
People
I
don't
detect
go
no
to
lies.
Chick-fil-A so they can go to church.
Well,
It's
you
like
can't,
the
well,
only
you
day.
can't, you can't go. Yeah, it's like you can't go to Chick-fil-A on the day you go to church, unless you go on Wednesday nights. But it's not a church day.
And Jesus, fight on, baby. Am I right? That's what they say. Fight on, Jesus.
I don't know any church that says that.
I've never heard that in a church. No,
We gonna win. Is what he says.
haven't heard that one
We're
either.
gonna get them.
Okay.
Is that- is that-
Sign us
I don't
off,
know
please,
that I've
before
heard
this
that.
goes even.
Is that like Ecclesiastes or something like that?
No, I think it was. Never mind. Keep going. I'm done. I can't.
Anyway, every episode of the Buckle Bomb is produced right here inside our Buckle Bomb studio here at the AAPW, America's Academy Pro Wrestling School. If you'd like to
School.
join us here and fulfill your dreams of becoming a professional wrestler, you can do what a lot of our guests do, is find us on the internet. Officially AAPW.com is our main website. You can also follow us on social media at official AAPW on Instagram, official_AAPW on Twitter, and America's Academy of Pro Wrestling on Facebook. We also have social medias of our own. I think that we should probably plug real quick. I guess we'll do that here in a sec.
sec.
You've got if you want to support the school in any way, shape, or form, you can also support us
bit
through
is over.
Teespring. Buy some AAPW merchandise there. Use code PAPADON for 15% off of your purchase.
The code never expires.
It never expires. Just like this bit, the code will never die. Just like the business will never die. Let me tell you something,
And
brother.
this bit will never die.
I think also we're working on a way to try and like get like like roster merch on there too. I think that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're working on
I'm
it.
gonna bring that up at the next production meeting or powwow or whatever we have over at the little.
Like I said, he just keeps making up words.
Additionally, as an academy, we put on shows a few Saturdays out of the month.
Most of them.
Most Saturdays.
Most of them.
Approximately 75% of Saturdays, actually. Our next show, as of this recording, is July the 10th. By the time you hear this, our next show will probably be July the 24th. So make sure you tune in to twitch.tv/official AAPW, or if you've got us, or official AAPW ATX on YouTube, or if you like us on our Facebook page, you can watch us there too. We stream to multiple places because we enjoy letting you have the freedom of choice.
And you should like us. If you don't, go do that.
Yeah. How'd you find out? How do you not have us on Facebook if you found out about this podcast?
Doofus.
YouTube
a little
recommend
weird.
Punk.
YouTube recommendations are kind of scuffed. I'll admit.
Dookie head.
But anyway,
Easy, dude.
that'll about wrap it all up for us here.
Fired up.
If you like what we do, you can
how
follow
could you
us. Which you can follow us individually. I'm at Felix Wrestles on both Instagram and on Twitter.
I am Danny X O'Ryan, Instagram and Twitter. Gamers rise up.
I am at j.amazingofficial, or you can follow the studio at Money Shot Music on Instagram.
You got any follows, Mr. Blue Meister?
Yeah, so right now I only have an Instagram, and that's Trevor Blue Wrestling.
Follow the man.
Yeah, I got
Or
some
we'll-
pictures up there.
Yeah? What kind of pictures?
Some
Okay, anyways. Okay, sorry.
It's a wrestling account.
That will be the episode. Editor Water right there. And goodbye, everyone. We'll see you next time. Peace.